Hello and welcome to the second line of the 30th gate. The 30th gate is called the clinging fire. It is the recognition of feelings and it's in the abstract collective circuitry. The second line is called pragmatism. When we get to this second line of projection, we find feelings which are projected outwards in an almost desperate need not to simply feel it, but to do it. This is one of the keys when we're looking at this line. The lifetime learning says the balance between extremes. This is finding a place in the feeling structure where one is comfortable, and that can only happen outside of influence. In other words, the 30 in the second line, inside their own house, inside their own little world, they found a way to balance their feelings. However, if you call them out, you trip them up. In the exalted, the productive application of energy without wastage, not wasting energy on feelings. These people are not going to release their feelings when there is nothing they can do with them. They release them the moment they can do something. Everything they do suddenly gets imbued with this power of feeling. So no wastage means that they do not get lost in all kinds of feelings. The moment the 30 and the 2 gets called out, there will be wastage. They will be distracted. They will be brought into a feeling experience about something else. And it's generally a waste of their energy. The proper use of energy is what this channel is all about. It's the design of focused energy. You can't layer feelings on top of feelings on top of feelings. It doesn't work. You deal with one feeling at a time. Otherwise, this can become a deeply neurotic process and you start burning. In the detriment, over-aggressiveness that chafes against limitation. Feelings which demand energy. The moment they cannot get their feelings out, they can become aggressive because it's very frustrating for them that they can't get it out. They don't waste the energy on feelings, they are pragmatic. They want to waste the energy on the experience, not the feeling. The feeling for them is yes, yes, yeah, whatever. What's the experience? Their feelings are always waiting for that opportunity of experience. They are demanding the opportunity to get out, to release the feelings, and if they can't, they can build up a lot of tension. This line in relationship can be very explosive, particularly if they are someone who just suddenly gets turned on in their emotional system. The 30 in the second line in an undefined emotional system, and then somebody comes along and pumps up their emotional system. This can be a powerful thing. There's a great deal of emotional energy that is locked up in here, just waiting for the opportunity to burst out with predictable results in terms of what happens with other people. It's often simply a feeling of overload. Once the feeling gets pulled out, they want the whole show. And because they get pulled out and because others are always saying, oh, you're the right one for this experience, they can then get very, very angry if they don't really get to release those feelings, in some kind of an experience that feels valid for them. And this is lower trigram. It has no transpersonal skills in what is essentially a social channel because it's collective, and all collective channels are inherently social. And here's the 30th gate in the second line, and it doesn't know there's a 41 at the other end. I think, doesn't realize that 41 has exactly the right pressure and energy for it in order for it to maintain and perfect its feeling, to keep it on track. Doesn't know that. And yet this whole thing is about focusing the energy. So we go back to the lifetime learning of the balance, that's the word, of the balance between extremes. The grounding is coming through gate 29 in the second line, called assessment. This is someone who does not make commitments until they're called upon, and then they can bring this quality of assessment. I know you're the right person to commit to this. Yeah. So perhaps they can bring this quality to the 30 in terms of waiting, tapping into the wave. All second lines need to learn about discernment so that they are called out to the things that are correct for them and their energy is used appropriately. And then when you've got that powerful emotional motor just waiting there, yeah, certainly want some discernment around whether or not you tap into the energy of that. Of course, you might not actually have any control over it. What do we have control over? But it's an awareness of the mechanic, isn't it? Having some discernment to be aware of what is going on. And then also using what is your inner authority here? Now, if you've got a defined emotional system, then obviously we know it's that. But if it's not solar plexus, then it will be, where is your inner authority? What is it saying to you about getting involved with this emotional feeling with? Because if you're not emotionally defined, then you can use your discernment when someone comes along and lights up that emotional system for you to know if that's correct for you or not. The moon has been in gate 59 since 1:21 this morning, bringing us that channel of mating as it meets the south node in gate 6. And then it moves into gate 40 at 12:09. This is the heart center gate, the gate of aloneness and deliverance. Again, it's tribal, although it's more the ego circuit than the defense circuit. The 59.6 is defense circuit. It's quite a material activation. It's a gate that loves to work. It will work very hard for its tribe. And because this is tribal and the channel loves a bargain, there's the bargain to the work that the 40 will deliver to the tribe. And the bargain it makes, the reward that it demands for its work is loyalty, affection, and adequate rest. The moon transits into gate 64 at 23:03. We are up in the head center now, and this is the gate of confusion, and it is a collective abstract sensing gate. So the same circuit as our Sun Earth at the moment. Experiences can be confusing, and it can take time to sort them out, really, make sense of them. So sitting with the confusion, that can be really difficult because there's a pressure here to move through the feeling and finish that process off. Because this is abstract circuitry, we know it's cyclical, and we know that the experiential journey takes time and patience. And even though it's up in the head there is still a wave that needs to be gone through in terms of the patience and the time that it takes. And the sensing abstract circuit, because it goes through the solar plexus, it always has that relationship. There's the genetic continuity again. Any gate within the experiential side has the qualities of waiting for the wave, waiting for the cycle to run its course. The other side is the cooler, logical side, which is much more existential. It's the solar, not solar, it's the splenic center, which operates now. So we have the two differences as the channels work through the different awareness centers. Okay, that's the second line done. Thank you very much for joining me. Back with the third line tomorrow. And until then, as always, go gently.